All right, everybody, it's time to get on your feet. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Woo! When your road gets rough, shine your light. And the going gets tough, shine your light. Just have faith, it'll be all right. So just shine your light. When you're feeling blue, shine your light. Spirit's guiding you, shine your light. Just hold on, love will pull you through. So just shine your light. Shine your light. Shine your light. Everything's gonna be alright. So just shine your light.
Say hello to somebody around you. Here we go.
When the world seems dark, shine your light. Love ignites a spark. Shine your light. Everything's gonna be alright. So just shine your light. Shine your light. Shine your light.
All right.
Good morning, Palm Desert. How are you this morning?
Are you ready to go? I am too. So let's close our eyes. Take a deep breath in. No more tryptophan layover or hangovers, okay? Stay awake, stay awake. One more time. Take a deep breath in. Let's just allow ourselves to get to that place where we're open and receptive to that which needs to be spoken today, that which needs to be heard, that which needs to be embodied so we can move into a greater expression of life itself. One more time. Take a deep breath in. Let's sigh on the exhale. Show me the way. Show me the way. Your love will light my way. Show me the way. Sing after me, please. Show me the way. Show me the way.
Show me the way.
Your love will light my way. Show me the way.
Show me the way.
Show me the way.
Show me the way.
Your joy
Your joy
will light
will light
my way. Show me the way.
Show me the way.
Show me the way.
Show me the way.
Your peace
Your peace
will light
will light
my way. And your love will light my way. And your joy will light my way. And your truth will light my way. Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om Shanti Om
Shanti Om, Shanti Om, Shanti Om, Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om, Shanti Om, Shanti Om, Shanti Om, Shanti Om, Shanti Om.
So what a beloved opportunity to go within, to experience that one life, one heart, one love, as we settle into that secret, sacred place of the Most High, that place I call God, that resides deep within each and every one of us. So as I know this for myself, I know that for each of us gathered here and anyone hearing the sound of my voice, wherever you may be, and for all that take this out with them when they leave here today. I recognize that life is not a problem to be solved, but an adventure to be lived. I am infinite in my experience here. There is no beginning and no end to me. It is always infinite. And yet this life that I'm here in, this body, is not forever. So I know that my experience here is one to decide and recognize, am I living to die or am I dying to live? Am I in that place of experiencing everything I possibly can and more? Am I facing my problems? Am I experiencing that healing place with my health, my finances, my relationships? Am I allowing the love of God, the peace of God, the joy of God to lift me into that human experience that lives and loves and lives life out loud? That is the experience that I know to experience. And as I know this for myself, I know that for each of you, for each of us, what a beloved opportunity it truly is to be alive today, to allow our energies to flow in and through as we know that we are experiencing God in each and every moment, whether we acknowledge it or recognize that we are experiencing God. And there is always more for us, always more. So in that place of loving gratitude, in that place of acknowledging all that helped make this service all that it is, for our concierge, for our ushers, for our greeters, for all that help with the AV and the audio in our live stream, for our magnificent band and singers who lift our hearts and our experience here as we take this out into the world, for all that work in the office, our practitioners and ministers who are here 365, 24/7, always on call, always available for your prayer. For all of this, I know I'm grateful. And for Dr. Joe, who is that vessel in whom Spirit speaks today and moves in and through, I know that this experience is beautiful and the words flow perfectly. So in that place of acknowledging the love and the blessings that are here, for the beauty, for the joy, for the peace, I know this and more, and I allow these words to be made so. And if you're in agreement with me, please join by saying, and so it is. Amen.
Loving Spirit dwells in me. This is my serenity. As within, all around, all I need is here and now. Where there's air, let me love, and
no fears. All the power, all the glory, I surrender, let it be. Loving Spirit dwells in me, now and evermore. Please join me. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me, sending out joy. I send my joy over the mountains. I send my joy over the sea. I send my joy into the heavens, and it returns to me, sending out peace. I send my peace over the mountains. I send my peace over the sea. I send my peace into the heavens, and it returns to me, sending out love. Sing it out. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me, and it returns to me, and it returns to me. So we're continuing our talk this year about building a world that works for everyone. And our talk was about, the monthly theme is wholeness. And today's talk is called, We Believe in the Eternality, Immortality, and the Continuity of the Individual Soul Forever, Ever, and Expanding. Yeah, so the original talk title was Eternality. And I have to tell you what, I really didn't want to do that talk today. I want to do something fun. I'm in the mood to have fun. I haven't had fun in a little bit, so I know. No, it's not stripper time. So many of you know my past, that I was a flight attendant. And today, I just wanted to go back and do this again because I just love doing this talk. So, so for those of you who don't know, I was a flight attendant for almost 20 years before I became a minister, and I have to tell you a little background story on that. My mother, where's my mom? Mom, I used to drag her to the airport all the time when I was a little kid in Flint, Michigan, the thriving metropolis of Flint, Michigan. And there was a time during the day when there were like 2 flights on the ground, and that was a big day in Flint when there were 2 airplanes on the ground. And that was the old days when you had the observation deck and you could like actually stand out close to the airplanes, right? And I'd like beg her, please, Mom, take me to the airport, I want to watch the planes. And so we're watching planes one day, and my mom says, do you want to do this someday? And I'm like, yeah, I really do. I really, really do. And she's thinking, oh yeah, he's going to be a pilot. And I said, no, I want to be one of those. I want to be one of those, man. Look at those boots. and those hats, and they had little red bags, round suitcases. I'm thinking, oh my God, I want that for me. And she's like, oh. Well, honey, you can have whatever you want. And my parents were like the first religious scientists that I met, because we were born and raised in unity, the teachings of unity. So, my mom immediately moved into that idea of, you know what, if that's really what you want, then I want you to envision it. I want you to think about it. And so as a very little kid, I started thinking, all I really want to do is be a flight attendant. That's all I really want to do. And I remember painting garages in the neighborhood to earn enough money for my first airline ticket to go to like Chicago for the weekend. It was a big deal, a really big deal. And then I realized, she said, just vision yourself just, wearing the uniform, not necessarily that one, but wearing the although I could really kill that. I know I could. Those 4-inch heels don't bother me a bit. All right, getting back on track. So she just said, just envision the plane going through the air with you, doing the job. And so I did that. And then I was in training when you had to be 20 years old, and I literally turned 20 years old while I was in training. So the very first available day that I could actually become a flight attendant, I came out as a flight attendant. So it really demonstrated to me the power of this teaching and the visualization. And I didn't know what I was doing, per se. I just knew what my mom and dad had taught me, and it worked. It worked. So I've taken this talk, and I have said, there are so many things that apply, and trust me, when you get on an airplane now and you sit through the flight attendant demo, you'll never sit through it again the same way. So I brought my equipment with me. See? Yeah. I'll get this over here. So here we go. So my talk today is called Taking Flight. And there are so many similarities between what a flight attendant does in flight for your demonstration than what we do here in the center. And I'm going to draw those parallels for you today, and maybe you'll just think differently the next time you're on an airplane. First thing we do is look at that. How many of you sit in your life and you go, I have all sorts of options on where I want to go in my life, not just on travel, but where I want to go in my life. I mean, look at that board. There are so many different places you could go. But a lot of people don't have that idea. A lot of people that think this is my lot in life. This is where I am in life. This is the way the rest of my life is going to look. They don't look that there are so many options to choose from. So when you have to look at your life, you can't just think that there's only one destination in mind. There's hundreds and hundreds and thousands of things that you can still do in your life. Now, whether you choose to do that or not, that's up to you. But the destinations are unlimited. So when you look at the screen, when you go to the airport, there's a lot of places you could go. In your own life, when you look at what is in front of the screen of your life, how your life unfolds, there are so many different places you could go. Now, first of all, you have to buy a ticket, right? You wouldn't go to the airport without a ticket. Well, how about this? You wouldn't set a destination in your mind on something you want to demonstrate without knowing what it is. You have to have something very specific. This is what I want. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about this in our prayer workshop, the importance of writing and buying your ticket to your good. And this is interesting. In this ticket, you can fly coach, you can fly business, and you can have an access priority. All available to you. It's all about your consciousness. Do you have a first-class consciousness? Do you have a coach consciousness? Are you just scraping by? Are you just able to make it? Where is your ticket? What ticket have you written for yourself to experience the rest of your life? Does that make sense? So you have a ticket, and guess what? First thing you do, you go to the airport, and what happens? There's a lovely line right there. You know that security? Hey, William, can you turn the, William's gone. I need the front lights. That's a security line, believe it or not, where you go through security. What happens when you head to security? You're not allowed to take anything dangerous to you or anyone else past that area. They also limit the size of your carry-on baggage. The amount of garbage you all take with you, right? You can try to get that big thing inside that little machine, but you can only take so much. So it's actually a really good screening process. Because in life, you're not supposed to carry around all that baggage. In your life, you're not supposed to carry around things that harm you or harm other people. You let it go. You're supposed to let that go at the security screening area. So think about every day when you walk out of your house, you're kind of going through your own security screening. Do you have a consciousness that's out to harm people or hurt people? Do you have something in your bag that could potentially, your bag of emotions, that's going to harm you? So we have to get rid of those things. Now, the standing in the boarding line. You've made your decision, you've gone past security, and now you wait. And you wait, and you wait. Has anyone prayed and waited before? And getting really antsy? And you know how when they finally get ready to board the flight and everybody in droves, regardless of your seat assignment, you all run to the gate, right? Thinking you're gonna get on sooner than someone else. But everybody's gonna get on, it's just a matter of when. But just like your prayers, sometimes we just have to wait in line for them. We have to wait that out a little bit. And again, do you have priority access, or are you like waiting in line thinking that you're supposed to always be waiting for something to happen? The interesting thing about this, now the journey begins because now you're mine. That was me, not me literally, but that was kind of like me as a flight attendant. I'm like, oh yeah, no. I put the B in bitter as flight attendant. I was not a good flight attendant the last part of my life. I was ready to do something else. So much so that my supervisor used to say, I think you need to bid the galley, which means no human contact. Just hide in the galley and make the food and hand it to the other flight attendants who can be nice out there, okay? So that was kind of my rear end of that one, the tail end of that. All right, but here we go. When you get on the plane, there's a couple things that happen. When you get on the plane, it's very much like the prayer process. You have a destination in mind. You walk on the airplane. The airplane you know is going to get from point, you know this because 99.99% of the time it does. You have the prayer, it's just like the prayer process. You have a destination in mind, you get on the plane, it travels to the destination, and you are there. You have a manifestation. So what the prayer is exactly just like traveling. You name your ticket, you get on the plane, you have the journey, you land at your destination, just like we do in our life. So if you have a strong belief around the prayer process and you understand it, that's exactly how we pray. We buy the ticket, we let God do the work, we arrive at our manifestation. Does that make sense? So the first thing you do when you sit down with the flight attendant, they start doing that flight attendant demo, remember? Has anyone traveled on an airplane before? Anybody here? Couple? Okay. So, your seats are equipped with a metal-to-metal type seatbelt, like you didn't know this. To fasten, insert the metal into the buckle till you hear it click, pull on the strap for a tight fit. To unfasten, lift up on the metal plate, pull the end out, right? Sounds very simple. Sounds very simple. This represents faith. You either have it or you don't. You either snapped in, you tighten up, or you disconnect. It's always there. Those seatbelts are always there waiting for you to take an action. Everything that I'm going to discuss today is safety related, but it requires you to do something. It just doesn't automatically happen. The only thing that automatically happens is you come in and you sit down. After that, everything else is up to you. So just like this seatbelt, what do they say? Keep it tight, low and tight around your hips, right? Low and tight, keep it nice and secure, and keep it on during the whole flight in case of what? Clear air turbulence. Life happens. We get jolted. Sometimes we get really alarmed. If you've ever been in a lot of turbulence, you know what that feels like. It can be very scary. But if you're fastened in, you're good. If you're not, you're on the ceiling. Truly, in your own personal life, that's the way it is. When you're fastened in, when you have that faith, you are secured in what you're doing. When you're not, you have the potential of getting harmed. Does that make sense? Also, your seat bottom cushion floats. In the event that it's needed, simply pull up on the cushion, holding the straps on the reverse side, taking it with you as you exit the aircraft. That thing does float, believe it or not. So not only do we strap you in, but the thing that's going to save you, you're sitting on. It floats, it does. When we're in training, we actually take seat cushions out into the pool and we swim with them. You know, we attach them and they do float. So the very thing that you're sitting on is going to save you too. So think about that. It floats. The Spirit always, if you're secured, the Spirit always is going to keep you afloat. Does that make sense? Next thing, oxygen masks. I happen to have one right here. I know everyone has one at home, right? Oxygen mask. In the case of depressurization, an oxygen mask will appear directly in front of you. At the time I flew, we used to say, please extinguish all smoking materials. Reach up, pull the oxygen mask down, place it over your mouth and nose and breathe normally. Continue to do so until advised by a working crew member. We also used to play them, you know on The Wizard of Oz? You know those monkeys? So, bong my glasses. Guess what? Has anyone ever had the air like taken your breath away because something happens in your life? Scares you to death or alarms you or something happens and your breath is taken away? Well, just like that, just like a depressurization, the universe instantly puts your healing in front of you. What do you have to do? I have to reach up, do my prayer work, what I'm supposed to do in a situation like this. I'm supposed to reach up, pull it down me. Now, the bag may not inflate, but oxygen is flowing. In other words, when it drops, you reach up, you pull down, you put it over. If it doesn't inflate, it's okay. In other words, if you don't get a sign, it's okay, it's still flowing. So when you pray and you don't get a sign, it's still flowing. Does that make sense? Adults traveling with children, if you're adults traveling with children or other adults that act like children, secure your mask first and then offer assistance. So what do you do first? Mine, and then I help you. Spiritually, I can't take care of you until I take care of me. My first responsibility is to keep me alive so I can help you stay alive. But I know in this room there are a lot of walking first aid kits. And those of us that are like that, we don't put ourselves first. We put everybody else first, and we slide somewhere in third or fourth position. But on a spiritual level, put this on first, and then offer assistance to someone else. Does that make sense? All right, so we have our oxygen mask. Then, in the seat pocket, you find this card. It gives you this information along with the location operation of our 9 emergency exits. I got this from Spirit Airlines. How cool is that? The passenger behind me wasn't happy, but I didn't care. I stole that 12 years ago. Okay. Like this card, there is a bookstore full of information for you to read. This doesn't come to you by osmosis. You have to pick it up out of the seat card, don't you? You have to actually take it out. You have to do the reading. You have to show up for class. You have to learn how to pray. You have to call, dial an idea. You have to come to Soul Sisters, come to all the spiritual support groups we have. We have a whole host of ways for you to stay safe and stay out of your own way. You have to use them, though. You have a whole program in front of you. This is the same as this. This thing that you got at the front door is the same as this. If you play your cards right, if you do your work from here and do your work from here, your life will be changed as a result and you will stay safe. Here, Lovey, thank you. All right? And then we point out the exits for you. This is a known fact because I worked on a safety committee at the time I was with a flight attendant. And this is a known fact because US Air had several crashes in a short period of time, years and years and years ago. People will die close to an exit because they think they have to go out where they came in, which is why they say, pointed out for you they are, the forward service door, the forward entry door opposite that, the forward service door, 2 exits over each wing, 2 exits in the rear, right and left, and my very favorite, the rear air stair. Anyway, for obvious reasons for those of you who are older. Okay. We point those out, why? And then they say, please take a moment, look around, and see if the nearest exit, it may be behind you. People die waiting to get out of the place they came in when they were right next to an exit. They just didn't see it as one. They didn't look around. In our lives, many times we go back and repeat the same old pattern. We go back to the door in which we enter because we think if we enter differently, the result will be different. When there's an exit right behind us or right here on the other side. We just didn't take time to look around. So there's more than one way to get out. There may be 50 ways to leave your lover, but there are only 8 ways to leave this airplane. But you have to decide, you have to look around and make a decision about which one is best for you. Does that make sense? But don't just think the way you came in is the way you're going to go out, because it doesn't have to be that way. Are you good? All right, next thing. Escape lighting. You know how they tell you in the case of a power outage, low-level lighting will come on? An emergency, white lights lead to red lights, red light indicates an exit. Well, what does that mean? Why do they have that? Why do we have emergency lighting on an airplane? I'll tell you why. Because in a fire, smoke rises. So you wouldn't stand up to inhale more smoke, you would get low and follow the lights to the exit. Show me the way. You don't have to stand up and in the chaos and smoke of your life, if you go low, meaning into that awareness, into that intuitiveness, into that learning that we do here, if you go low, then you will find your way out. As long as you want to inhale fumes and inhale the problem and continue to circulate the problem and go where the fire is and where the heat is, more power to you. But if you go low, you can save your life and get out. If you go within, you can save your life and get out. Does that make sense? All right, so now we come to the part where we do things that, your baggage. Turn off the overhead lights for just 1 second. See that? How many of you feel like that's your brain? Huh? Lots of different colors, shapes, sizes. Yeah. And you try to carry that on an airplane and stuff it into an overhead bin because you're afraid to let go of your past. You're afraid to let go of your baggage. Carry-on baggage is a certain size because it will block exits if it falls out of an overhead bin or protrudes out of your seat. Life is the same way. If you continue to carry on too much of this stuff, it's just going to bog you down. You're going to trip over it again and again. And it gets heavier and heavier and heavier. And for some reason, the older I get, the heavier it gets. Baggage is like that. I get tired of carrying it around. Eventually, I have to learn to pack light so I can go far. Does that make sense? Lights back on, William. Thank you. So now there's some things that go on that you don't even know about. And some of them are this. That's a flight attendant jump seat. I spent 17 years on one of those things. Close to the flight attendant jump seat is what they call the emergency light switch. In the case of an emergency, a flight attendant has certain procedures they follow. One of them is if you're the flight attendant responsible for the light switch, you turn the light switch on, which tells the cockpit you're evacuating. It also lights up the floor so that people can get out. So one of those flight attendants is responsible for doing that when you land. You're responsible in your own life to know what your light switch is, how to access it, and what to do to start the process rolling for you to get out of your own way. For you to take the exit. For you to say, I'm initiating an exit, boom, hit the button, prayer, meditation, Wednesday night services, Tuesday classes, Monday classes, Wednesday classes, Thursday classes, Friday classes, Saturday meditation, Tai Chi, name it. Name it. That's your emergency switch. Do you know what yours is? Do you use them? Or do you fall back into old patterns and run toward the door in which you came in trying to get out? The same thing happens, okay? So when a flight attendant sits down for takeoff, they ask themselves a certain series of questions. When I saw Sully, I got real emotional when I saw Sully because it was really too real for me. Because having been trained and gone through training every year, yelling, brace, brace, heads down, stay down, brace, brace, heads down, stay down, release seatbelts, get out, release seatbelt, get out, come this way, that when those flight attendants started doing that, my blood started rushing, my adrenaline, I started crying because I felt that. I felt really scared for them in the moment. I mean, there is one of my old airplanes. I used to fly for U.S. Airways. There's one of my old airplanes, and I knew one of the crew members actually flew with Sully when he was a PSA pilot. So, I mean, when you hear that, you go, okay, wait, what are my commands? So as a flight attendant sits down and they get ready, they go through a series of questions in their mind. We're not just sitting there chit-chatting. Well, the good ones don't chit-chat. We actually think about what we're doing. The first thing is, what is my brace signal? So what if there is an emergency? What's my brace signal? For you, what is your brace signal? When you see something come forward, how do you brace? Do you contract or do you stand in faith? You know what? Those flight attendants at the time that they were evacuating that airplane, flight attendants, I had one emergency that I had to deal with, and I didn't fall apart until long after we had landed at the gate, and then I fell apart. But during the emergency itself, you just act. You act and you know. Same thing happens in your life. If an incident happens in your life, do you act and know, or do you get scared and contract and run and put your covers over your head? Which one do you do? So the first one is, what is my brace signal? Which exit is mine? There's 8 exits. Which one am I responsible for? Where is my exit? And what way does the door handle rotate? because it may be turned around. So I have to make sure that I know where to go and what to do. Do you know where to go and what to do when there's an emergency in your life? If you're in the hospital, do you know that someone should call the center so we know that you're in the hospital? What about your things that you activate? What about the sequence of things that you activate when your life is challenged? Do you know how to do what you need to do? My guess is you do. If you've been coming here for a while, you have a whole spiritual toolbox full of things to do. Call, dial an idea. Get on our website. Watch old talks. Pick up the Science of Mind magazine. Attend a class. There's make an appointment with a practitioner. I'll tell you about what a practitioner is in a few minutes. All right, so what is my brace signal? What is my brace signal? Where's my exit? What way does it rotate? What do I do if my exit's usable? What do I do if my exit usable was easy? Open it up, say you, go to the bottom of the slide, hold it, let people off. You help other people. Very symbolic. If I know what to do, I can help you. You go down and help other people. If my exit's blocked though, what do I say? Exit blocked, turn around, go the other way. Exit blocked. Many times we sit before a blocked exit, meaning there's fire outside. If I open the door, there's going to be more harm outside than inside. In our own personal lives, that happens every time we sit on the other side of a confrontation. If I know I'm going to engage in a fight, exit block, turn and go the other way. Exit block, because I know if I open up that door, there's fire and there's harm. So it's really easy when I know what to do. If my exit's usable, I start making the flow of passengers leave, flow of my life. It's easy when I'm in the flow, but if my exit's blocked, if there's controversy, if there's fighting, if there's dissent, how do I turn, go the other way? There's another usable exit. Again, there are more than one way to leave. Does that make sense? All right, exit blocked. That's it. And I'm going to charge the light switch. Next thing, crash axe. On the plane, there's a crash axe. Behind the first officer's seat, there's a crash axe. Crash axe is symbolic for this. It's supposed to make an exit where one doesn't exist. That's its sole purpose, is to create an exit where one doesn't exist. That's what your prayer ministry is for. That's why you learn how to pray. If you don't know how to pray the way Francine did her prayer today, then I invite you to the prayer class tomorrow to learn how to do that so you will create your own little crash axe to get yourself out of any situation. But in an emergency, you can use one of our practitioners, one of our ministers. We are your crash axe. We create an exit where one does not exist. Does that make sense? So that's called taking flight. And now are you ready? This is the hard part. All right, here we go. Your seats are equipped with a metal-to-metal type seat belt. To fasten, insert the metal until it clicks. Pull the strap for a tight fit. To unfasten, lift up on the metal plate, pull the end out. Your seat bottom cushion floats. In the event that it is needed, simply pull up on the cushion, holding to the straps on the reverse side, taking it with you as your extra aircraft. The cabin is pressurized for your comfort this morning. In the unlikely event of depressurization, oxygen mask will fall directly in front of you. Reach up, pull the oxygen mask down, place over your mouth and nose and breathe normally. Please continue to do so until advised by a uniformed crew member. Parents traveling with small children or other adults that act like small children, secure your mask, then offer assistance. In the seatback card, you'll find this and other information giving you the location operation of our 9 emergency exits. Pointed out for you, they are the forward entry door in which you entered, opposite that the forward service door. 2 window exits over each wing. You aren't keeping up with me, are you, the signer? 2 window exits over each wing, 2 exits in the rear right and left of the rear air stair. At this time, your seat and seatback tray should be at a full upright locked position. All carry-on luggage properly stowed underneath in front of you. Why do we do that? Because your tray, your issues, and your baggage should not hamper anyone else getting out of for their life. Right? So please make sure your seats and seatback trays are in the full upright locked position. All carry-on luggage properly stowed. At this time, we want to welcome you aboard. Have a safe flight. Have a wonderful journey. And so it is. End your lesson. Thank you.